We all want our loved ones to be safe, but an active shooter could threaten their lives any day, and the risk is growing. In the event of a shooting, first responders rely on 911 calls. However, 911 reporting does not provide information to on-site security guards. It is often delayed until a caller reaches safety and doesn't provide real-time visual intel to first responders, making coordinated emergency response extremely difficult and often resulting in preventable loss of life. In contrast, Defendry changes everything. Defendry reports threats in multiple ways. Ideally, if someone recognizes a threat before it becomes violent, they can send tips directly to on-site security via the Defendry CSAY app, which can then be shared with law enforcement. But in case no one reports the shooter, Defendry's powerful AI system watches all on-site security cameras 24/7 to automatically detect threats. If a gun is detected, doors are immediately locked to prevent further entry by the culprit. Bulletproof laminate may also be installed to prevent forced entry through glass. If at first a shooter's gun is concealed to evade detection by cameras, it would be detected as soon as it's drawn. Other signs of potential danger can also be detected, including masks, intruders, and people in your watch list database who have been banned from entry. No matter how a threat is detected, any images and location are immediately sent to Defendry's 24/7 human verification partner for review. If the threat is real, verified intel is quickly passed along to the on-site security guards, law enforcement, and civilians in harm's way, providing first responders with tactical advantage and helping innocent people to escape before the shooter arrives. The agent also remains on the line sharing intel until the incident is resolved, helping make the shooter easier to subdue and better defending both the lives of the first responders and innocent civilians. Now is the time to protect those we love by strengthening active shooter defense. It's time for Defendry.
Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate you carving time out of your day to join me here for a little bit. My name is Renee Rainey. I am the Regional Channel Manager for the Western Third of the United States. And what I'm going to do is just walk you through a handful of slides here, and then I'll turn it over to Stephen Otluski, who will walk us through a live demonstration of Defendry. Regarding our motivation, this is truly something we wish we didn't even have to talk about, but it's a fact. It is an epidemic right now. Active shootings are happening, and we made the determination that we want to make an impact on the epidemic and really make a difference. Obviously, you can see here from this, the stats are rising year over year. It's not something that's going down, it's going up. It's just incredibly disheartening, right? 2019 actually saw more active shootings than days in the year. And that is exactly why we exist as a company. We want to make an impact on that. A little bit about our leadership. Pat Sullivan is our CEO, absolute serial entrepreneur. He's launched over 5 venture-backed startups, all very successful exits. 2 of the most notable would be ACT, the best-selling contact manager. You may have heard of that. We have lots of folks who say they are either the first or one of the first users of ACT. He sold that. Then started another company called Sales Logics, which was basically the mid-market version of ACT, took that public, sold that, just again, serial entrepreneur. He would say both of those companies found much of their success due to the channel. He's a very, very channel-driven guy. He got out of those businesses, tried to retire. It's just not in his DNA. So he came back and created a really powerful communication platform. It is one of the core components of what Defendry is today. But he developed that, and then he said, I'm really struggling with this active shooter epidemic here. What can I do with this to have an impact on active shootings? So after extensive research, he finally found an artificial intelligence that actually did what it said it could. It could actually identify weapons. And this was after lots and lots of research. Well, that's Sean Hoover's company. So Sean Hoover is our chief science officer, PhD data science. He is just an absolutely incredible human, very amazing background. He headed up the AI for U.S. Department of Defense DARPA projects, lots of military work. He created the AI that you're going to see in a few minutes that can detect a gun within 45 feet out within 30 milliseconds. It's incredible. So his AI is the other core component of the Defendry solution. So combining forces, Pat's communication platform with Sean's AI, we now have the Defendry automated active shooter defense. Now, Skylar Stewart, our VP of sales, he's been in the channel for over 20 years. You guys may actually know him or know of him. UCAS, CCAS, he's worked with a lot of the partners over the years. And my background is also the channel. My career has always revolved around my partners and working with them to really help them grow their businesses. Our sole focus, our sole go-to-market strategy is 100% through our channel partners. So even though this is a very sensitive subject, it's also a very urgent subject. And I truly, truly believe that by working together, we can really be a part of the solution. And I'm very excited to work with you to do that. So, the problem is, and it's a very sad reality, but anyone can enter any building at any time, really, right? There's no proactive solution to stop someone from entering a building and doing harm. Another problem is that typically surveillance cameras aren't really a proactive solution. Typically, it's a rewind, see what happened, give the footage to police, again, just not proactive. Even if the cameras are being monitored, it's tough to watch everything. It's tough for one or two people to watch everything, try to pick up a weapon and proactively try to stop something, right? Proactively stop an incident from happening. And that's part of the issue with, why the stats are continuing to rise year over year. Another problem, an extremely serious issue here, is that first responders, their response times can be a little bit slow. 100% not their fault. These folks live to be a solution, right? They are trying to save lives. That's what they do. But the problem is they're not getting called immediately. In an active shooting situation, folks are basically running for their lives. They're trying to get safe. They're not thinking of calling 911. When they get safe, they do. And often many calls will come in all at once, but they're not getting called right away. Another issue is when they do arrive, they're arriving without real-time intel, right? They don't know exactly who they're looking for, how many they're looking for, where they are, where the shooter is right now. They may know where they were a few minutes ago. They don't know where they are now. They don't know if they shed a black trench coat they had on and now they're just wearing a gray t-shirt. They just don't have the real-time intel. Think about the Florida high school shooting. It took over 30 minutes for them to find the shooter. Again, this is not their fault. This is not having intel. And, the shooter was able to walk over to a Subway and have a soda when he was found. So this is about not having info. All of this is just adding precious minutes to a situation where seconds matter. So with Defendry, that's what we're doing. We're answering those problems with a proactive solution. How our solution works is we're integrating with the existing surveillance cameras, and our artificial intelligence sits in our Defendry appliance on site, and we will detect weapons 24/7 through that existing surveillance. So we've spent hundreds of hours working with local law enforcement, dozens of students with dozens of weapons in all kinds of different scenarios, different angles, different lighting, all to make sure our artificial intelligence is the most advanced and most accurate. That's why really we're one of the very first to market and also the most advanced weapon detection on the market today. And we're running these events quarterly. We're making sure we're keeping our artificial intelligence the most advanced, making sure it's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So again, we're detecting weapons and we're locking doors. So as soon as we see a weapon, we are able to automatically lock the doors. The goal is to keep the shooter out, right? Give the people inside a few extra seconds to get out of harm's way. Run, hide, just get out of harm's way. You've got that extra time now. And we also work with partners. You can see here from this image, the glass doors. We also work with partners who make a clear laminate that goes over the windows or doors that you can't see and that you also cannot shoot through. It's incredible. I'm very happy to make that introduction if you would like. So again, we're seeing guns, we're locking doors, and then we are a very, very key component of what we do is we are getting a human in the loop who now within seconds receives the threats that we have detected. So they are able to clear a false alarm, or, hey, that was an umbrella. It's Seattle and it's raining. The guy's got an umbrella, or they're able to say, absolutely, this is an active threat. And then they're able to get on the phone with police and walk them through that exact situation, right? So they're going to say, okay, the shooter is a male. He's wearing a gray hoodie, light gray pants. He has a pistol in his right hand, and he was picked up on the northwest, the camera that's named the camera northwest corner building A, and they're able to walk them through that. I mean, that's priceless, right? So as the shooter is moving, they're able to say, okay, now he was picked up on the, building D east camera. So just getting that intel to them and really making sure they have the information that they need. So again, seeing guns, locking doors, getting a human in the loop, and then getting the alerts, the same information you just saw, the same images with the same camera information down to the customer. So now the folks on site with the exact same absolutely accurate, up-to-date information. So now they're able to start their protocols with the images and location rather than hysteria. That's just a game-changing lifesaver. So now within 2 to 3 seconds, you have a monitoring agent getting police there with all of that priceless intel. We've, within seconds, identified a threat. We've locked the doors, keeping the shooter out. We have a highly trained agent at our third-party monitoring center who either clears them or calls them in as an active threat, walking the responders through the exact location and identity of the shooter. We've got the images and the location of the shooter to on-site staff so that they can immediately implement their protocols. And we have first responders on their way with the exact, absolutely up-to-date information. How many lives have we just saved by shaving all those minutes, literally minutes, off of the response time? So just as a recap, so Defendry is integrating with the existing camera system, and all we need here is just 4K cameras outdoors, either 4K or 1080p cameras indoor. They need to be able to be narrowed to 70 degrees, and that's just all about getting pixels on target. And now, if a location has 100 cameras, that doesn't mean we have to be watching 100 cameras. The customer can tell us, hey, we only want you watching the 6 cameras at the entrances. No problem. That's how it works. And then our Defendry appliance sits on site, just in the customer's server rack, hooks right into the existing NVR or recording device. It's a very simple deployment. The appliance comes pre-configured, so it's just a plug-and-play installation. It is about a 2-week calibration period while the AI learns the exact environment. Just, say there's a tree with a lot of branches that are blowing in the wind all the time, or a lot of traffic. It's just learning the exact environment. Right now, we're also looking at about a 30 to 45-day deployment. That just depends on our backlog. Right now, we have quite a few on backlog. So then we're automatically locking the doors, and we're doing this through either API or dry switch. Just depends. Cloud-based, we can absolutely do that through an API. If it's say like a maglock situation, we can do that with a direct dry switch. Then we're getting that human in the loop where they're able to clear false positives or confirm an active threat and walk first responders through that situation all the way to completion, to when that suspect is apprehended. And then we're getting that exact same information down to the customer with the accurate intel. The kinds of detections we're doing, guns, obviously. We have trained our artificial intelligence with dozens of weapons, with hundreds of hours of footage in various angles and positions. We're working very closely with local law enforcement on that. It's an ongoing training. We do that quarterly, and that's just to make sure that our artificial intelligence is the most up-to-date, the most intelligent. It's like Alexa in your home, right? The more you use it, the smarter it gets over time. Another detection type is masks, and that is something you can turn on or the customer can turn on or off. Robberies, often you look at a place with a small place with maybe just one or two entrances. Folks are putting on their masks right before they come in. And again, this is something you can turn on or off. Very, very useful for our retail customers. Another detection type is intruder. So if you have an area that there shouldn't be anyone there, that would be an intruder alert. So you can turn that on or off by camera and also by time. So maybe a busy time during the day, you wouldn't want it on, but say, 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something, you'd want it on. So very customizable there, customer driven. Another detection type is watch list. So this is facial recognition, but probably not the kind you're thinking of. This is extremely customer driven. We're not dipping into any federal databases. We're not tracking anything about the person. All we know is what the image is. So just as a couple examples, say you have an employee that was let go and folks are hearing, hey, he is not happy. He's talking about, killing somebody. He goes immediately on a banned watch list. So you upload images of that customer. Our AI treats that just as an object, just like a gun. So if they are seen on site, you're going to get notified. Another couple examples might be an expelled student. They should not be on property. If they are, that could indicate a problem. It's just about getting in front of keeping an active shooting from ever happening, right? Maybe a parent who is not supposed to be picking up a child, something like that. So that is the watch list. Now, CSA, I was talking about what the customer receives. So this is what this looks like for the customer. They're getting that same exact information, the exact image. There's the person that they know exactly what they're looking for. There's the gun they have. And here, they were picked up at the exterior courtyard entrance, camera 2. Then it looks like just a few seconds later, they were picked up on exterior courtyard entrance, camera 1. So now they know what direction they're moving. They know what cameras they're picked up on and exactly who they're looking for. Game changing, right? This is your on-site staff knowing exactly who they're looking for and where they're looking for them or hiding from them. Run, hide, fight only works if you know which way you're supposed to run. So then on the right here, this is our anonymous reporting piece. Again, another way to just get in front of the problem, keep an active shooting from potentially ever happening. So you've got, this is a way to anonymously report any kind of a problem, any kind of something scary that you want administrators to know about. Again, that person who got fired, maybe the only reason you know to put them on the ban list, the watch list, is because someone reported when they got fired, they were talking scary. An expelled student, they were saying some very violent, things that they needed to be put on a watch list. So maybe we stop it from ever starting right here. And this is in development, should be released Q2, out very, very soon. Okay, so that is Defendry in a nutshell. What I'd like to do now is turn it over to Stephen. He is going to walk us through a live demonstration, and I will talk to you about what you're about to see and then what you're seeing. And I will turn my screen over to him. All right, so on the left side of your screen, you're going to see our little office entry here. And that's Stephen sitting in his chair. And then Stephen is going to walk in the front door with his gun. And on the right over here under Defendry, you're going to see the detections come in real time. And then you'll hear a little beep in the background. And that's the sound of the timing of when those images are going to be coming into the monitoring agent. So don't blink or you'll miss it. Stephen, whenever you're ready. And then what we'll do is he's going to walk in. You'll see that. You'll see the detections on the right. And then you will see at the bottom some codes come up. And then he'll switch over and show you what the monitoring agent is seeing. So here he comes, boom, on the right, it's detected that fast. Little beep sound, that was the sound of the images coming through. And that is how quickly it goes to the monitoring agent. And we just have to do this with 2 screens here. He's now pulling up what the monitoring agent at Rapid Response is seeing. That quick. And this is coming through at about 3 images per second. So very, very quickly, you can see the movement. If there were other cameras that he was being picked up on, it would have that information. But you can see his progression. You can see how many slides are coming in, how quickly, just based on how much he's moved with the new slide. the new image. So when he goes back up to the top, so here's what happens when those images come in for rapid response. They're able to see exactly what they're supposed to do based on what the customer has told them to do. This is customer driven. So the customer wants, if a threat comes in, a verified threat, call 911. Here's the address. The threat is a gun. It's going to say the exact location, the camera it was picked up on, northwest entrance, building A, and that information is going to be there for every image. Now, if it's a false alarm, they're able to just click false alarm. Hey, it was an umbrella, no worries. If it is an active threat, they're monitoring this, they're getting on the phone with police, and again, walking them through that situation with the exact intel, who it is, what they are wearing, what kind of a gun they have, how many of them there are, and the cameras that they're being picked up on. And they're doing that all the way through to threat resolution. So that is how quickly it happens, and that is the live demo. Thank you so very much for your time. Sure appreciate it.